Well, Tim, thanks for joining us. And while yours is a wonderful place where you can come and learn all about the history of farming, it's not the only museum to be found in a Kansas farm community. And one in particular is mighty unusual.
The Heartland has its share of odd roadside attractions. North Dakota's Enchanted Highway with its giant metal sculptures. California's got 20 feet tall cutouts of farm workers. But Kansas?
Both of his concrete flags have 48 stars on them and a turkey.
Well, Kansas seems to have more than its fair share. Outside of Kansas City, there's a giant fiberglass chicken.
It's a chicken.
In the small town of Goodland sits an 80-foot tall replica of Vincent van Gogh's 3 sunflowers in a vase painting, one of only 7 around the world. And if you think a giant painting is odd, well, just keep driving east on Interstate 70 to the town of Lucas.
And he used 113 tons of concrete on the project.
And the Garden of Eden, not the one from the Bible, the Garden of Eden created by S.P. Dinsmore at the beginning of the 20th century. After retiring from teaching and farming, Dinsmore moved into the city, as it were, to build a log cabin made out of concrete, new in those days, and after that, he continued making all sorts of interesting things out of concrete.
Some of these sculptures range 40 feet up in the air. And this one is the Goddess of Liberty.
The Goddess of Liberty, that's an octopus there, I see.
That depicts the big businesses. She's trying to destroy it with a spear down through its head.
Oh my gosh.
And then the man and woman have a saw that says ballot on it, trying to use their voting rights to destroy big businesses.
Here's the working man getting pulled in different directions.
The laborer is a farmer. He's working with his hands for his money, and the people around are taking money from him, taking his money and crucifying him.
It's a religious and political message.
Right,
Huh?
Yeah.
And we've got the doctor, lawyer, preacher, and banker.
Right, and he said those 4 maybe were the leaders, but weren't all of them.
Dinsmore loved the attention from visitors to his Garden of Eden. He drew them in for miles around with his fanciful work in concrete.
People were coming to see it. They were coming off the railroad trains. People were driving here from all over the state, all over the country, and all over the world.
To keep getting his message across, he even came up with a plan to draw visitors after he died. Inside this giant cement structure lies Dinsmore's body, mummified with charcoal in a glass coffin. His will says anyone is invited to come in and see the body as long as they pay $1 to keep the Garden of Eden going.
He's been dead 75 years, and his body is viewable.
And he wanted people to see the body?
Right, yes. And we do ask that no pictures be taken inside. The family requests that.
So the camera stays outside, but we can go in, huh?
Right.
Wow.
His vision as far as people coming to see his body is what keeps the sculptures protected and preserved then.
If the sight of a mummified man entombed in cement leaves you needing some grounding, you can truly get centered nearby. The geographic center of the United States is about an hour or so up the road. Just follow Highway 191 until it ends, and you'll be at the center of the U.S., well, the center of the lower 48 states.
Well, perhaps it's quite fitting that the geographic center of the lower 48 states is completely surrounded by farm fields here in rural Kansas. And if you happen to be searching for salvation while looking for the center of the lower 48 states, your prayers are answered. Right here on site is the 6 feet by 8 feet U.S. Center Chapel. It's tiny, but inside completely functional, complete with pews, a Bible already opened up to a Bible verse, and of course, Kansas travel brochures.
According to the sign, there are souvenirs in the nearby town of Lebanon. In all honesty, there's not a lot going on out here. A place for picnics, an old abandoned motel nearby. But if you're looking for giant flowers, cement marvels, or just need to get centered, well, Kansas is your place.
Well, I don't think you'll find very much that's odd or even out of place here at the National Agricultural Center and Hall of Fame. Just a lot of history and education. Even this little train takes children and adults around to a turn-of-the-century rural village known as Farmtown. There's no question how agriculture has shaped this nation's past, and by the looks of what we see here, we're right on track for even stronger roots in the future. That's our show for today. Oh. I'm Paul Ryan. Thanks for watching, and we want to see you next time right here in America's heartland. Okay, Tim, down the track we go.